Welcome to WhatGear Reviews, tech reviews coming to you from rainy old England. And today you can see the sun is shining, but it is quite frosty out here. But anyway, I'm comparing the Realme GT NEO 2 to the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Because when it comes to smartphone photography, videography and microphones and all this kind of stuff, the iPhone kind of ticks all of the boxes. So the best way to see how good a new phone is to test it against the iPhone. So this is the first test. Let me know what you think of the video quality on the selfie cameras and as well as the HDR. So I've chosen this spot very specifically because there's really bright backlight over there. Anyway, let's take some photos. So here's the classic selfie shot in a kind of strong backlight scene. And I think you got to agree, the HDR abilities on the Realme GT NEO 2 is surprisingly good here, especially when you compare it to the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Overall, it's much brighter compared to the iPhone's picture, and although the iPhone's picture might look a little bit more muted when it comes to brightness, dare I say, it might just be a little bit more true to life, as where I was standing when I took this photo was actually in the shadows. But that is besides the point. What's more important is which one of these looks better to you. Let me know in the comments below, and now let's move on to picture 2. Alright, this is quite a similar lighting condition, same scenario as before. I'm shooting into the direction of where the sun is coming from, and while both phones are doing surprisingly well, there are some notable differences. The highlights on the ground in the iPhone 13 Pro's picture are very bright, maybe a little bit too bright in my opinion, but maybe quite true to life. And you can really see how bright these are when you look at the Realme GT NEO 2's picture, where it's handling those highlights really well. The details seem to be a lot crisper on the iPhone picture, especially if you look at the trees on the right hand side of the picture. But I must say, I really like the brighter and more saturated colors coming from the Realme phone. So the iPhone kind of has the edge when it comes to the details. I feel like the Realme has the edge when it comes to the colors. Is it just me, or does the iPhone picture look a little bit too warm, a little bit too yellow? I prefer the cooler tones that we're getting here on the Realme device. Anyway, I think both are doing fantastic when it comes to HDR here. But again, let me know which one you think won this one. And here's picture 3, and I wanted to test this one because I think the iPhone might have one of the best macro lenses I've seen on any phone. So these are some frozen blades of grass. I did say it was cold, and it was. And I took this photo from around about 5 centimeters away, and both of them are doing pretty well. But as I suspected, the iPhone kind of wins this one just based on color accuracy and detail and sharpness. I really don't think that Realme has put a lot of effort into the macro lens. It seems like the focus has been more on the primary and the selfie in my opinion. Let me know how important macro lenses are to you, because it seems like Apple seems to think it's pretty important. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is roll a few more shots side by side, and then we're going to get into the video side by side, and then my favorite section, the night shootout. And at the end of this video, I've got a pretty cool musical night video outro for you guys, so make sure you stick around for that. the night selfie. Again, a brighter image from the Realme GT NEO 2, which is surprising. It's more detailed, there's less noise than the iPhone. The skin tones are actually more accurate in my opinion. And the iPhone picture is still decent, but in comparison, maybe quite a bit softer. And it's also got this kind of greenish tint to it. For me, this is a clear win for the Realme GT NEO 2. You might disagree, and if you do, let me know in the comments below why. Anyway, here's night picture 2. It's a HDR shot, and it's a HDR shot because there is a bright light in the foreground here. So this is a nice combination of light and dark and artificial street light, and both photos are pretty good. I think the iPhone takes the win here pretty clearly based on the detail and sharpness and its ability to handle that bright red light. It's controlling that sort of bloom coming off that, which is what seems to be ruining the Realme GT NEO 2 picture. With that said, if you just saw the GT NEO 2 picture on its own, you'd probably think it's pretty good, but I am impressed with the iPhone here. Alright, here's night picture 3. It's the darkest photo of them all. Although it doesn't look like it in the iPhone photo, this picture really puts night mode to the test. Honestly, the iPhone actually really surprised me here. The color, the brightness, the detail are all on point, while on the GT NEO 2, it's definitely not as good as the iPhone, but just like before, if you saw this standalone and you actually saw with your own eyes how dark it was there, you would be impressed with the GT NEO 2. And from my experience taking this exact photo with different devices, the Realme is actually doing very well. It's just kind of outshined by the iPhone here. But it's important to remember the significant price difference between these two devices. They're not in the same ballpark at all. The Realme GT NEO 2 is considerably cheaper. Alright, we're gonna roll a few more night shots and then we'll get to that musical outro, which is pretty cool, and you also get to hear the mic test one more time. Anyway, let's go. WhatGear camera comparison. If you enjoyed it, you like the style of this video, make sure you leave a comment, and if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man, and I'll see you in the next one, so don't be late.